Hello and welcome to the Centurion Corner, and today we are reviewing from Star Wars The Black Series and Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3. We have Moff Gideon Dark Trooper Armour. He's number 44 in the line here, and yeah, he's looking pretty cool. Got a bunch of accessories here. We've got his pike, a short version of it, his gun, and a removable helmet in that really cool looking sort of like armour that he had at the end of the season. And I kind of been waiting to get this guy out because I kind of really like looking at sort of Imperial armours, and they don't seem to do the visual dictionaries anymore, and they're for all those pictures online, so it'd be nice to have a physical kind of figure in the hand. On the side here we've got Moff Gideon all armoured up. On the back, that picture once again with his bio, and the picture's going through. I was going to say he's number 44, I've already said that. We'll take this back to the front, and I guess without further ado, let's crack this bad boy open. So here he is in his blister pack. We're just going to have a quick little look on the inside of the box. I think it's kind of Mandalore on there. Looks like it a little bit blown up, but it's just a little bit of rock and a bit of cloud in the background. Nothing really going on there. Could have been the military base, but however, they skipped out on that. So we get him out for our first impressions, and then pop him out like so. And yeah, this guy looks pretty cool. He does look the part, and that armour there's that feels a bit soft. Is this removable? Maybe. It just annoys me that I'm just thinking about if that's removable and he has a helmet, why is Boba Fett always a deluxe figure? Anyway, we're going to go away, put some through his poses, and we'll see you in a moment. So welcome back. We've been away, we've taken his pictures, and what can I say about the figure? Well, getting him out, I was quite impressed on my first impressions of getting him, and it hasn't dropped at all, to be honest. The more I played with him, the more I was doing sort of more poses, etc. He's a really nice figure to pose. The accessories probably let him down a little bit. So with that, we get into the actual review itself, and the first little gripe are, as I said, the accessories. So we've got this little part on here. This is like his staff, which is here, but down in the collapsed form, so it gives you extra sort of photo or play kind of attributes to the figure. But yeah, it's just that silvering on there. It just looks really cheap and plasticky, but you can see all those kind of details in there looking really nice as well. Looking at that part as well, we can look into his main staff. We've got the electric parts on the top there, that kind of horrible pearlescent kind of silver there. I wish they just paint it, to be honest. And then you've got the little handle, and then coming down the bottom. So even if you compared the sort of details there, you can see like where the staff would collapse, which is like the handle on this bit, and then you've got the spear part at the top there. The only thing as well, I kind of like this electric part. It's good that they had it, but I wish it was a little bit more purpley, a little bit more deeper pink, just for it to sort of look like more apparent rather than sort of looking a bit wishy-washy, which goes to the whole kind of accessory, to be honest. So compared to the actual figure, who's looking bold, black and red, and then this just looking a little bit too pale in comparison. And with that, we can actually look at his little gun as well on the side. And when I say little, I mean this guy, you know, he's obviously not compensating for anything, because this is a very, very small, and I don't even know why he's got the whole artillery to use, but he uses this little tiny pistol. It's even got a scope. Why would you have a scope with something so small? I mean, is he going to sit there and just like, you know, poo poo at the little kind of people there? I do not know, but hey ho, he has it nonetheless. There, we could take that out. And the other accessory he comes with is his helmet, and the helmet looks really nice. It is removable as well, so you can just pop that off, showing the actor underneath, or Moff Gideon. But we pop that back on, and we go through the articulation, and we have a closer look at that when we go through the figure's details. So head wise, he can look up this far. You can kind of add a little bit more because it's a removable helmet, so you can get those flying positions in there, which is nice. So we've got upper neck movement, as you saw there, and we've got the lower neck movement as well, which really comes into play, which is nice. On the arms, we've got full rotation around on the arms, but they are kind of hindered by the shoulder bell there. We have got arms that come up this far, so a little bit further than the sort of just the 90 on there, and we have a butterfly joint inside there as well. This is kind of squishy as well, so this, if you want to hinder it forwards, it does squish a little bit as well, so it does go out of the way. We've got rotation at the elbow, and we've got a single elbow joint as well, up to 90. And on the wrists, these are on the ball joints, so this is like the new type there, so you can just pop these off, and then you can see that ball joint just on the inside there. So yeah, we can actually get some movement all around, which is pretty cool. At the diaphragm as well, we've actually got two separate pieces here. So the diaphragm can crunch forward, it can crunch back, not so much, but we've got a bit of movement in there and a bit of tilt. And then at the lower part, we've got even more, so it adds to it. It just extends that movement forward and back, which is good. And then you come to the legs, and the legs are crazy. They come up all the way up this way. They can kick forward, back, not so much because of the bum plate, but unfortunately they could have hit that sort of rotation underneath this sort of like a kind of fire armor at the top there, but we only can just move it around at the upper leg here. We've got the rotation here at the knee, single knee joint as well, and then the rocket and the pivot at the ankle. And look at the size of those platform shoes. But yeah, this guy is looking really nice. Where he comes alive is obviously in the looks and the details. And yeah, as I keep saying, as recently, like Black Series just seems to sort of like stepped up a little bit, and I kind of wish that like as much as I like the Mando sort of commandos of the Imperials, I really like the armor. I just found the helmet to be really, really small, and with this one, it just looks great. It just looks a nice size, and with that removable helmet underneath, or head, should I say? Well, the head's not removable, you know, the helmet's removable, but you get what I mean. But yeah, looking at the armor anyway, it's got a very nice gloss all the way around on there. This visor's got like more of a metallic look compared to the rest of the red as well, which is great. And all those little details around on the side that we miss when we watch the film as well. So you got this bit around on here with his little kind of like horns coming up there, a little bit like Batman-esque, and then two at the back and then one at the front. So like Rhino at the top and around on the back. On the back of the helmet, there's not much going for. It's just a bit more of sort of like a Mando Darth Vader going on there. And then we could take this off, looking at the actors sort of looks as well. Really good details on this one. I think it's really nice looking with that sort of Julius Caesar kind of haircut that he has as well. Coming down to the armor, as again, it's all kind of nice and shiny. We've got red in the sort of like indices here, those sort of LED bits, red at the top there, little kind of dashes on that, and this bit in the middle is slightly grey, so giving us a little bit of detail parts on there. On the armour on the side, kind of again Darth Vader-esque kind of lines undersuit, and then you've got the wrist gauntlets and stuff as well. Belt looks really nice, and we've got the red lines and the silver going all around. Underneath, it's just again comes around to the back, and then the legs, we've got that kind of ribbed undersuit again, and then the front of the sort of like shin parts and on that are just kind of like all nice and glossy and black. Not much else sort of details going on there apart from clips and things on there, but getting the figure in hand, you kind of realise there was so much more kind of sort of reminiscence of sort of like Darth Vader's armour like been put into Mando here, especially with like the undersuit, you know, and these bits up here. It's kind of like what Vader would look like with a bit of armour, that's for sure. Around on the back, you know, it's just not much going on there. I thought this was removable, but it's not. But again, we've actually got some nice little colouring as well. We've got some like reds and silver on there, just for that jetpack as well. So we actually got that detail. The cape, yeah, you know, it's a little bit of fabric. At least sort of like it's double-sided, so we've got black and red on the inside there. So, and it adds a little bit of weight. But I kind of wish that they kind of sort of would, I don't know, in some way have a little bit more kind of movement to it, especially when it's like flat pan like this. It kind of loses it for these 6-inch figures. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a really good figure. I'm glad they have gone cloth, to be honest. I don't want to say that's a negative to figure. I just say it's a negative that the cloth looks a little bit flat. If they went for plastic, you wouldn't get the movement that you get out of this figure. That is for sure. So yeah, it's a really good figure. You know, it's new out. It's sort of full price. Would it stay that price? I don't know. It's a bit hard to tell at the moment what figures are going to sell in Black Series, because sometimes you want to hold off, and sometimes you don't want to, and then and then you lose the buck. But I think this one is sort of like, if you're kind of umming and ahhing around it, it's definitely worth paying full price for this figure. That's my opinion anyway. So thank you. Don't forget, you can join the channel. You can follow me on Instagram if you like as well, and you can subscribe. I completely forgot my ending part there, but until next time guys, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye.